Hello, welcome to We Are Storytellers, aka WAST. By now, you've probably understood what we're going to do here. Yes, we're going to share stories. If you love reading books, novels, romance, if you've ever stayed up late reading stories on platforms like Wattpad, if you like getting lost in characters, emotions, and worlds that feel real, this is your place. Here you'll find immersive stories, and every single one of them is original. Every character, every universe, every emotion is created from scratch. Here we don't just tell stories, we let you feel them, and we have a few surprises waiting for you along the way. So don't think too much, just subscribe and join us, because this is only the beginning. And I'm Nigh, one of the storytellers of WAST, and today we begin our first story. It's called Thick Clouds. This story has everything a story lover looks for: drama, emotions, and characters that might even challenge your sanity a little. It's about a supermodel, perfect in the eyes of the world, but inside, her life is falling apart. This is not a glamorous story. This is not a fairy tale. This is a story about what happens when everything looks right on the outside and feels unbearably wrong on the inside. So, let's begin with first chapter. Chapter 1, I woke up. For a moment, I didn't understand where I was. It wasn't panic or confusion, it was emptiness. My consciousness returned slowly, like it was hesitant to come back, like even my own mind didn't want to exist inside my body anymore. Everything felt heavy. My eyelids refused to open. My fingers refused to move, and I lay there trapped inside myself, aware but powerless. But I tried anyway. I tried to open my eyes, but nothing happened. I tried to move my fingers, just enough to feel something, but they stayed still. It felt familiar in a strange way, like my body was finally acting the way my life always had. Wanting to do something, but never being able to. Wanting to stop, but never stopping. That day, I had wanted to die, and even that, I couldn't do it properly. Then I heard her heels, sharp, even, and confident. The kind of sound that never hesitated, never doubted itself. I had heard those heels my entire life. Outside my bedroom door when I was a child, in hallways before interviews, behind me at events where I stood smiling for cameras I didn't want to face. I didn't need to see her to know she was there. My body recognized her before my eyes ever could. My mom had entered the room, and before she even came near me, her voice was already directed at Katie. "What happened?" she asked. Not worried, not shaken, just controlled irritation, like something had gone off schedule. Katie didn't answer immediately. I could imagine her standing there, arms folded, watching Marie instead of reacting to her. Katie never rushed to fill the silence. She knew silence made people reveal more than words ever could. I spoke to her that night. Katie said finally. Her voice was calm, steady. She sounded exhausted. "Exhausted?" my mother repeated. She was in Paris for work. Exhaustion is part of work. Katie didn't respond to that immediately, and I could imagine her intolerant look at my mother. "Marie!" "She was still answering calls," Katie said impatiently, "still attending fittings, still doing everything that was expected of her." There was something in the way she said "expected" that carried weight. My mother noticed it too. "That's her job, Katie," she replied flatly. Katie let out a small breath. Not agreement, not disagreement, just an acknowledgement. "I wasn't physically there, you know that," Katie added. "Kevin kept checking on her." It wasn't defensive, it was factual. Marie didn't like facts she couldn't control. She turned away, dismissing the conversation before it could turn into something she couldn't reshape. Her attention shifted to the television, and the screen filled the room with light and voices. "Supermodel Leila Andrew was found unconscious late last night in her Paris hotel. Sources close to the family suggest possible overdose. Questions arise about the pressures faced by young international models." The volume wasn't loud, but every word pressed against my skull. She still hadn't come near me, she hadn't touched me, she hadn't even looked at me properly. She was listening to strangers explain my condition instead. Such a great mother, I hate her. It almost made sense why I never felt like her daughter. Then another voice entered the room, familiar and steady. "The media have been outside since morning," Kevin said. They knew before the official report was even filed. My mother didn't ask how I was, but she asked, "Which networks?" Kevin hesitated slightly. "Most of them." She absorbed that information in silence, like she was calculating damage, not processing fear. Katie, my personal assistant, and Kevin, my personal manager. These two are the only people I have, the people I can rely on. And it would be strange if I call Katie, an older woman, to call as my best friend, but that's the truth. The doctor arrived soon after and explained that I was stable, that I had been lucky, and that things could have gone differently if Kevin hadn't reached me when he did. My mom thanked her politely, but even her gratitude sounded rehearsed, like she was performing civility rather than feeling it. "We expect privacy," she said. "I don't want any official confirmation, especially not about substances or overdose." The doctor explained that speculation was already spreading, but my mom dismissed it immediately. "Speculation fades," she said calmly. "Confirmation doesn't." She wasn't protecting me. She was protecting the version of me that remained profitable. After the doctor left, Marie began talking with Katie again. "When she wakes up, she will not speak to anyone until I decide," she said. "She may not want to speak at all," Katie replied. "That isn't her decision," Marie snapped. I didn't hear Katie immediately. I guess she was swallowing her impatience. "She's still a person," Katie said quietly. "So humanly, but my mom was not so human to understand these feelings." Marie didn't respond to that. I know she might have simply looked away, as if the statement didn't deserve acknowledgement. Then, after a moment, she asked, "Did you know she was taking drugs?" Katie didn't rush to answer. "We all knew she was under pressure," she said. That wasn't my question. I heard Katie sniff out loud in impatience. It was the only relevant answer. Marie's silence turned colder. "That wasn't my question, Katie." Silence followed. Aren't you supposed to keep an eye on her and keep notifying me what she is doing?" She almost lashed out at them. "Instead, you are standing in front of me and supporting her," she added, with anger and frustrated tone. "What is her problem? Why did she have to commit suicide?" my mother asked finally. Her voice filled not with misery but frustration, not heartbroken, not afraid, just inconvenienced, like I had made a mistake she now had to correct. I lay there listening to them talk about me like I wasn't there, like I wasn't a person, like I was a situation that needed management. And somewhere inside that silence, I asked myself the same question. Why had I done it? The answer wasn't dramatic. It wasn't tragic. I was tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep could fix, the kind of tired that lived inside your bones, inside your thoughts, inside every part of you that had been performing for too long. My life had never belonged to me. From the moment I was old enough to be seen, I was also old enough to be watched. Fame came early, and everyone called it a blessing. They said I was lucky. They said people dreamed of lives like mine. They didn't see the exhaustion behind it. They didn't see the constant pressure to exist perfectly, to smile correctly, to never stop being who they expected me to be. It was not like I didn't want to be a supermodel. I dreamed of becoming, but never expected a life like this. I loved everything when I was a kid. I loved the attention. I loved being a celebrity in school and college, but honestly, I never had real friends. People didn't see me. They saw access, they saw invitations, status, and relevance. Even relationships felt arranged, approved, monitored. Love wasn't private. It was a public strategy, just a PR stunt. Forced relationships with popular men so we could stay relevant together. Stay as the happening couple for weeks. If you disappear from the news, people forget you, my sister Felicia always said. But what's the point of being remembered like this? But even in all the chaos, I did love someone once, or at least I believed I did. I was 21 then, and he was over 31. He was a famous actor, older, established, someone my mother approved of immediately. She encouraged it, not because she cared about my happiness, but because it made sense for my image. He made me feel seen for a while, and I gave him everything I thought love required. When he left, he did it gently, respectfully, explaining that I was too young. He wanted marriage, but he didn't want to damage my career. It sounded noble, it sounded reasonable, and funny thing was, I saw him with someone else my age weeks later. After that, something inside me stopped expecting permanence. And the thing is, I didn't even get time to cry. Let out my pain, nobody real to listen. What a supermodel gets to deal with: work pressure, mental exhaustion, and the constant noise. I wanted peace, but peace wasn't allowed. And then I started doing drugs. Drugs didn't destroy me immediately. They helped me survive at first. They made everything quieter. They softened the noise in my head. They made me smile when I didn't feel like smiling, to laugh when nothing was funny, to exist without feeling the full weight of myself. I stayed high enough not to think, high enough to function, high enough to forget. They made it easier to touch people without feeling anything, to hook up without attachments, to leave without caring. No expectations, no emotions, and no pain. And they didn't make me happy, never. They made me distant, and distance felt safe. But distance doesn't last forever. Eventually, everything returns because you can't escape from yourself. The pressure, the expectations, and the sound of her heels. I didn't overdose because I wanted to die. I overdosed because I wanted everything to pause, just for a while. I wanted silence. I wanted rest. I wanted a moment where nobody expected anything from me. Maybe, somewhere in that silence, she would finally look at me. Not the model, not the brand. Me. Just once. Wow. That was hard to sit with. Hard, and maybe a little too real. Leila's story has only just begun. Since this is our first episode, we'll pause here for today. In the next episode, we'll explore further with multiple chapters, or a longer one as Leila's story begins to unfold. So subscribe and stay with us. This is Nigh, and this was We Are Storytellers.
They dressed me in diamonds, called it a dream, but I only wanted to breathe in between. Flashes like thunder, names like change. I learned how to smile through invisible pain. Every mirror knew my face, but nobody knew my name. Thick clouds in my sky won't let the blue stay. I keep walking in storms I didn't create. If love is the sun, why does it hide? I'm standing